So, hello everyone, uh, welcome again, and welcome back to Management Study. And today we start with unit number 3, which is identifying and selecting the market. You know, in the last lecture we have completed the unit number 2, which is environmental monitoring in the marketing. And now we are focusing on the unit number 3, which is identifying and selecting the market. Now, if you are any organization or any business who has some kind of product or service. So you need to identify and select the proper market for it. Okay. If you have a digital product, then you can't sell it on the offline basis. Okay. You can't sell it at an offline marketplaces. You must sell it online. And if you have an online or offline product, then you can sell it, of course, offline as well and as well online. And you can convert your digital product into a physical product, and you can also sell it offline as well. Okay. So let us see what are the things that are included in selecting and uh, you know selecting and identifying the market for our product. So first thing that we will study in this unit is market segmentation, which is grouping your audience. You have to decide, you need to create a segment of your market, or which type of consumers you want to target. For that, you need to segment your customers. Okay. So how can you segment your customers? So segment your broad market using one or more of the following dimensions. So here are the dimensions on the basis of which you can segment your customers. So first is demographic. Now, demographic means the demographic characteristic of your customers, like what is the age of your customer, what is the gender of your customer, is he a male or she a female, what is the income of your customer, what is the education qualification of your customer, and what is the family size of your customer. So that is included in a demographic. Okay. Now the second element is geographic. Okay. The geographic dimension includes location based preferences, like which city you want to target for your customer segmentation. It could be Ahmedabad, it could be Bangalore, it could be Delhi. What is the climate in which you want to target your segment? So you can target in the monsoon. If your product is related to monsoon, then you can target your customer in the monsoon. If your product is related to winter, suppose you are selling warm clothes, then of course people buy warm clothes in the winter season. So your target is winter and region, urban, rural. So that is called the region. So that is geographic segmentation. Then psychographic, which includes lifestyle, personality traits, values, often based on a AIO, activity, interest, and opinion. Okay. So in psychographic dimension, we will study your consumers on the basis of their lifestyle, on the basis of their personality, which type of profession they are associated with, what are their values. Okay. So this thing is based on the activity, interest, and the opinion of your customer. Then you have to segment your market on the behavioral dimension. So behavioral dimension includes purchase habits of consumers. What is the brand loyalty of consumers towards the brand? Usage occasions, how many times the consumer use your product? What are the benefits that consumer derives from using your product? Consumers are regularly purchasing our product, or they might be purchasing at some interval. So that is called the behavioral uh, dimension of market segmentation. Then there is a firmographic, that is for B2B, that means business to business. So what is the type of company size, what is the industry in which the company is running, what is the infrastructure of the company. And the last one is technographic, tech usage patterns and attitudes. So you need to segment your market on the basis of these dimensions. It could be demographic, it could be geographic, it could be psychographic, it could be behavioral, it could be formographic, or it could be technographic. And your customers are also different. Your consumers are also different on the basis of this, in demographic as well, in geographic as well, in psychographic, behavioral, firmographic, and technographic. So this is the market segmentation, and which is the most important part of this unit. Because in this unit we are going to focus on segmentation, and you know, as its name suggests, we are going to segmenting and targeting customers. Okay, how we will do that in marketing? How we will target our future customer or potential customers. So that we will be learning on in this unit. Now, after segmenting, the second thing which comes is targeting. Now, which segments to first? Once you segment your customers, like in this image, on the left side, you can see the lady and a young man and an old woman and an old couple. So these are the different segments on the basis of on the basis of age, which is included in a demographic dimension of marketing segmentation. Because they have a different age, they have different profession, they have different lifestyle. So on the basis of that, you need to target some specific lifestyle, some specific age, some specific profession. Okay? So from the vast, demographies, you need to select one demographic element, which is, let's say, if we select age, if we select old couple, so we need to do a targeting on the old couple only. Once your segment is decided that you segmented each of the person in this image on the basis of their age, and you decided that, okay, my product is well suited for the old couple in this picture, then comes the targeting part, in which you are picking segment that you want to pursue, or you want to market your product to. Okay, so that is called targeting. Let's see in detail about targeting. So size and growth, will it sustain revenue and scale? So once your target is decided, okay, that I want to sell my product to the old age couple. So will it sustain revenue and scale? It is scalable. Should it give me revenue? Okay, you need to ask questions. Then we have structural attractiveness. Okay, what is the competition in the market? What is the profitability of this segment? What are the entry barriers? For entry barriers, you need to study the Porter's 5 forces model. So in the previous chapters also, we have come across this Porter's 5 forces model. So what is Porter's 5 forces model? So Michael Porter has developed a 5 forces model to understand the marketing competitiveness or the market competitiveness, which includes suppliers, new entrants, the buyers, and the suppliers, new entrants, buyers, technology, and the market itself. So that we will discuss in future. So you need to check the structural attractiveness. You need to check the competition, profitability, and entry barriers. Okay. Now you have to do fit with capabilities. You need to align with segments needs. Okay. If your target is old age couple, so you need to study them in detail. What are their day-to-day needs? Is there a real need for your product in their life? If they are looking for that kind of product in their life, so you need to check that, and you need to do your research accordingly. Then there is a measurability and reachability. Okay, can you identify and effectively contact them? Is it um, um, if they are reachable, yes or no? Can you identify them? Can you effectively communicate with them? So you need to do these things in targeting phase. Okay. Now, targeting strategies are explained here. So let us see one by one what are the targeting strategies that a company can use while targeting their potential customers. So first is single segment concentration, which focuses deeply on one niche. A niche means a particular product, a particular category, okay, which is very narrowed down, okay, and which is very specific. So you need to do a single segment concert. You can do it a single segment concentration, focusing on a very niche product. You can do selective specialization, serve a few key segments with tailored offers. You can serve, different products. You can do product specialization. You can use one product tailor across multiple segments. You can do market specialization, which addresses multiple needs with one segment. Now comes positioning. After segmenting comes targeting, and after targeting comes positioning, which is the stage where you position your product in front of the customers, which includes crafting segment specific value. Okay. So after choosing your segments, position your offer based on features and messaging that best resonate with your target segment. Okay. So if your target segment is old age couple, then you have to craft a message that directly hits them. Okay, and they can relate it with them. Then competitive differentiation tailored to that audience. Okay, you need to differentiate your product. Okay, because there are many products of the same category in market. So in order to in order to shine out, you need to do competitive differentiation. Then ideal channels and messaging tone for that group. Okay, you need to follow the ideal channels of marketing. You need to craft a message that tone or that relate with that group. So that is called positioning of your product. Now comes implementation and review. After positioning your product in the market, you need to do a review or you need to do an analysis of your actions. Okay, so you have to launch targeted marketing campaigns like ads, content channels customized to each segment. So according to your segment, you need to launch a marketing campaign. It could be ad, it could be content like social media, or it could be other channels of marketing. Then you have to monitor the performance of your product. After monitoring your performance, you get a clear view that if this segment is for you or not, so that you can adjust your segment targeting, positioning over the time. And if you are not doing monitoring, then it will be null. Okay, your efforts are null. So for that, monitoring performance is very crucial. Then you have to segments evolve. Your segments can be evolved. Of course, your target or your segment is old age couple, and uh, it can be applied to a young married couple also. So segments can evolve also. You have to revisit your choices periodically to stay aligned with your strategy. Okay, so with this we have seen the 50% part of this chapter, which is identifying and selecting the market, in which we first seen the market segmentation, then we have seen targeting, then we have seen positioning. Now, then last we see implementation and review. Now comes the main topic, which is consumer buying behavior. Okay. So in this chapter, there are two buying behaviors. One is consumer buying behavior and one is organizational buying behavior. Okay. Okay. So before we proceed further, let me ask you a question. What do you think what is actually the consumer buying behavior is? Okay. Do you have any guesses? Any of you will think that consumer buying behavior is the buying behavior pattern of consumers? Of course it is, right? How it would be shaped? How will consumers decide what to purchase and from where? Do you think that consumers ask themselves why we need these products and why we are making this purchase? On the basis of which data we are making this purchase? So, what are the things that motivates us to purchase anything? So, these are all the things that are included in consumer buying behavior. And consumer behavior is a very interesting subject. It is a more of a psychology and a less of a marketing. It includes, the buying pattern of consumers, the mindset of a consumers. In consumer behavior, you will study the mindset of a consumer while makes purchase. What are the factors that motivates the consumers to make a purchase, and on the basis of which factors the consumers are making purchase. So that will be studied in consumer behavior. So in this consumer buying behavior, let us see. So buyer decision process, which is a classical model. Okay. So how the buyer decides that what he or she needs to purchase. So in first comes need recognition. So before any purchase, the consumer must decide that whether there is a need for a particular product. In this, they say spotting a gap. An example, phone dying. Okay, let's say I'm a consumer and I want to purchase a new phone because my existing phone is dying or it can't work properly. It's a very old phone, so I need to purchase a new phone. So that is for the gap, and that is the need for purchasing a new phone for me. Then what will I do? I will do information search, in which I will check the online reviews of some phone that I want to purchase. Okay. Let's say if I want to purchase an iPhone, I will check the online reviews of iPhones. I will ask my friend that if it is good to purchase this iPhone or not. Then I will do evaluation of alternatives. Okay. My friend says that instead of purchasing iPhone, you should go for Samsung Galaxy. Okay. So what will I do? I will do comparison between an iPhone and Samsung Galaxy. I will comparing the features of iPhone and Samsung Galaxy. I will check the benefits of it. I will check the value of it. Okay. And I will do cost benefit analysis for this both phone. Purchase decision. Now I will decide that okay, I'm confirmed that I want to buy an iPhone. Okay, so it is my committing to buy. Okay, I am decided that I want to purchase iPhone. Okay, now the post-purchase behavior. Satisfaction. Okay, I have finally purchased my iPhone. I am satisfied. Feedback. Of course, I will write online reviews regarding it. Okay, this is a cool phone, a very good camera, very good, glass, and very good, you know, etc. features and all. Or returns. If I find that there is something not very good in this phone, I will just simply return it. Okay. So this is the process of decision of sorry. This is the process of buying decision in which a consumer first recognize his or her need. Then he or she will do information search. Then comes the evaluation of alternatives. Then he or she will make purchase decision. And after that, post-purchase behavior occurs. So this is the buyer decision process, and which is a classical model of. Now, what are the key influencing factors for a consumer to make a decision or a buying decision? Okay. So first is psychological, of course, motivation, beliefs, perception, and emotion. So I want to show off in front of my friends after purchasing an iPhone. So that is called, my motivation and emotions towards buying the iPhone. The beliefs as well. I believe that iPhone is a good phone with great features and good camera. So that are my beliefs. Perception. I think that after getting an iPhone, people will think that I am from a well-to-do, I am from a well-to-do background. I have a lot of money. So those are for the motivation, beliefs, perception, and emotions that a consumer can derive before purchasing the product or after purchasing the product. Okay, so that is the one major influencing factors that decides buying decision of a consumer. Then second one is social, which is influence from family, friends, and reference groups that we discussed earlier. Then there is a cultural norms, subculture, social class. Okay, and it's personal reason like life stage, personality, lifestyle, and age. Then there is the economic, which is more important, like income level, pricing, and economic climate. So these are the three influencing factors that decides buying decision of a consumer. Now, what are the implications for marketers? What marketers need to do, or what should they do in this competitive marketing landscape? So first, they need to do is prioritize personalization. They need to leverage AI data insights without violating privacy, and they have to focus on personalization. Okay. Then focus on value conscious messaging. They need to offer store brand or value comfort options to their consumers or potential consumers. They need to leverage social and influencer channel. They need to optimize social shopping. They need to highlight sustainability and ethics. They need to demonstrate genuine transparency and certifications of a product. You know, some kind of product includes certification, like say, if you are selling any food product, then you need a mandatory certificate from FSSAI, which is Food Safety Standards Authority of India. So it is mandatory for every shopkeeper or every retailer who are selling food. It is mandatory to have an FSSAI license and FSSAI license number. For every business, goods and service tax number is also important. GST is important. So that highlights sustainability and ethics of a business. Then you have to simplify the purchases as a marketer. You have to support BNPL, mobile checkouts, frictionless logistics. You need to make it seamless process. Okay, you have to use nudges strategically. You have to trigger impulse buy via reviews, urgency queues, or bundles. As a marketer, it's your job to trigger impulse buy via reviews, queues, and bundles. With this, we completed the consumer buying behavior. And now comes the organizational buyer behavior. How an organization buy some things, or how an organization as a consumer buy some things. So that we will study an organizational buyer behavior. So in organizational buyer behavior, there are multiple stakeholders. Decisions involve user, influencers, buyers, deciders, and gatekeepers, commonly known as the buyer center, buying center, or decision-making unit. So decision-making unit is the main point where the organizational buyer behavior was. Formal structured process. Unlike consumer purchases, business to business buying follows precise steps like problem recognition, specification, supplier search, negotiation, and performance review. If I want to buy a personal phone for me, it is very easy to buy it. But if I want to buy a machinery for my company, then I need to, do a proper planning. I need to arrange the budget, as well as I need to talk with the team regarding that. So in that organizational buying behavior, we have problem recognition. Then we have to do some specification. Then we have to do supplier search. Then we have to do negotiation on the prices. And then we have to check the performance of our product that we have bought. Rational and strategic. So organizational buying behavior is rational and more strategic compared to individual or consumer buying behavior. Choices are driven by economic analysis, performance ROI. ROI stands for return on investment, long-term goals and risk management. So obviously, when you are purchasing, you know, machinery or you are making a heavy purchases, then you have to think of ROI, long-term goals, and you also need to check risk management profile of that particular machinery or the things that you are buying for your organization. High stakes risk aversion. Decision often involves large purchases and contracts demanding through vetting and due diligence. So of course, for an organizational buying behavior is more risky and more time consuming. Emphasize on relationship. So you need to establish long-term supplier partnership. Okay. You need to, build a relationship with your supplier so that you constantly get the supply of the required raw material for your product. It's not just one-time transaction. In consumer buying behavior, it is a one-time transaction. Because if I want to purchase a phone, then I simply go to the store and I will buy a phone for myself, and then the relationship finished. Okay, but in the organizational buying behavior, the relationship will last for a long time. You will make continuous purchases from the same supplier, with a huge cost. So that require some type of relationships. Okay. Now, what are the buying process stage in organizational buying behavior? So first is problem recognition. Of course, as I said earlier, we need to identify our needs, organizational needs like replacements of machinery and compliance changes. Then we have to do specification development in which we do technical and functional requirements set by users and experts. Okay. Then we have to supplier search. We have to research about the potential vendors and directories, and we need to go through the contact list to find a good supplier. Then we have to do evaluation and selecting. We have to comprise the price, quality, service, and delivery of that supplier for that product. Then we have to do order routine specification in which we have to set the terms, warranty, guarantee, payment, all that things will done in order routine specification. And then post purchase review, we have to assess the product and supplier performance for future decision. So what are the models which explains organizational buying? So first is buying center model, which is DMU, which identifies roles, user, influencer, buyers, deciders, and gatekeepers, each with unique influence level. Then buy class framework, which is developed by Robinson Ferris Wind, which categorizes purchase as straight rebuy, which is a routine purchase, modified rebuy, which purchase with some changes, and new task. First time requires full evolution. That means the new purchase. Then industrial buying behavior model by Howard Shedd highlights the influence like environment, organizational structure, interpersonal dynamics, and individual characteristics. Now, what are the key influencing factors in organizational or / industrial buying behavior? So first is organizational and internal, which includes goals, policies, structures, procurement systems, existing technology, and workforce skills, which are included in the factors that influence organizational buying behavior. So what are the goals of an organization? What are the policies of an organization? Which type of structure they are following? What are their procurement system? What is the existing technology in the company and the workforce skills? Then there is the environmental and external factors, which includes economic climate, regulations, industry norms, competition, and technological trends. Then there is the interpersonal and individual factors, which is group dynamics, relationships, personal risk tolerance, expertise, and motives. And the last but not the least is emotional and logical drivers, which includes for decisions are rational and structured. Emotions still play a substantial role, even in business to business context. Emotions influences about 60% of decision making, especially in tech purchases. So what is simply saying is that in organizational buying behavior as well, emotions play a critical role. Okay. So what this last line wants to say is that, in consumer buying behavior, the consumer emotions are the, play the major role. But in organizational buying behavior as well, emotions are also playing a major role. How? How it will play a major role? Why? Why it play a major role? Organizational buying behavior is done on the basis of, evaluation, planning, you know, in a more systematic way than consumer buying behavior. But why the emotion influences 60% of decision making? Because in organizational buying behavior as well, the employees who are the decision makers for this. The employees of an organization are humans, and humans work or make decisions based on the emotions. So, no matter whether it's a consumer buying behavior or organizational buying behavior, the decisions which are taken are majorly taken emotionally. Majorly taken emotionally because the decision are taken by the humans, and human is the synonym of emotion. But the picture is changing nowadays because the AI is coming. AI is transforming or replacing humans. So now it is the time that the figures will be changed. But the human element can't be changed. No matter how the AI will take over the technology and the work or all that, but the human element is irreplaceable. So with this, uh, okay, there is an implication for marketers and B2B sellers. We complete this one and then we complete our unit number 3. So what are the implications for marketers and B2B sellers in organizational buying behaviors? So they need to map the buying center. They need to identify and engage all key decision roles. They need to support structure stages like provide clear spaces, ROI models, demos, and compliance proof. They need to build trust. They need to offer case studies, guarantees, and robust post-sale support. They need to customize their approach, tailor for rebuy versus new task scenarios, adapt research and persuasion accordingly. And they need to balance hard and hard. Okay, they need to combine solid data with emotional credibility and reliability. So these are the tasks that marketers and B2B sellers need to do while they are targeting the organizational buyers. Okay, so with this, we are completing unit number 3, which is identifying and selecting the market. Okay.